Hey guys, how are you? Listen, it's me, Rosalind, and I want to welcome you back to day 2, 30 days of Stop Stopping. If you were, I just want to thank you guys for coming back because yesterday was day 1. So if you were with me yesterday, thanks for joining me again. If this is your first time, I want to welcome you. And every day for the next 30 days, we're going to be talking about one thing: how to stop stopping. Not because I'm here to motivate you, because I really want to help you change. Yesterday, we talked about something that many people are doing. So many people stop dead in the middle, in the very beginning, almost to the end, and you don't complete what it is that you're trying to complete. But what the thing that I'm helping you to do is 3 things. I help you become aware, I help you to correct, and I help you to take that brave step. Those are the 3 things. So yesterday we talked about why so many people stop. We talk about some of the things that cause us to stop. And honestly, it goes a little bit deeper than that, but we're not going to get all into that. Today, we are going to go into one step deeper because I realized something about myself, honestly, that hit me really hard. We were doing a training with my mentor, and she was talking about why she was asking the question of why we haven't reached where we want to be, why we haven't reached some of our goals or accomplished some of our goals. And honestly, I thought that some of those goals really, even when I thought about it, even when I wrote them down, I really thought that they were a little bit too big for me, if you know what I'm talking about. And if that's you, if you were thinking that too, I get it. I totally get it. So today we're gonna go on in and because all those goals, y'all, that I had not reached, it wasn't because they were too big. It was because I didn't think I was capable. I didn't think I was capable. I I thought that I didn't know enough. I thought that I didn't have enough resources. Those were lies that I had told myself. So the real reason is because I really couldn't see myself at that level. I couldn't picture Rosalind being that woman. I couldn't picture Rosalind standing on that stage talking to thousands of people, talking to hundreds of people. I just couldn't see it. I wanted it, but I couldn't see it. Therefore, we know what happens. If you can't see it, more than likely you're not going to reach it. So when I realized that, things started to change. And today we're going to talk about that picture that you have of yourself and how it may be creating the life that you're living right now at this moment. So let's do what we always do: awareness, correct the lie, the brave step. Now, I want you to answer this honestly. When you think about, when you think about the life you say you want, what picture comes to your mind? Now really think about that. So if I ask you to picture yourself healthy, can you see her? If I ask you to picture yourself owning a business, can you see her? If I ask you to picture yourself standing on a stage, speaking in front of hundreds of people, would you be able to do that? Can you see yourself being that person? And if I asked you asked you to picture yourself about being financially free, would you be able to see that person? Can you actually picture yourself financially free? Or does something else show up? A picture of who you've always been, a picture of your past, a picture of every simple mistake, whether big or little, every mistake that you've ever made. Have you have you ever have you ever been able to picture yourself doing something different? I had to ask myself these same questions. And that's when I realized the goals that I want, that's not the problem. I couldn't picture myself as that person that I wanted to be. So when I looked up, what I did was I looked up this the words, the phrase self-concept, because I didn't even know what it meant. And honestly, something I'm not afraid to let you know when if I don't understand something, I'm gonna dig a little just to find out what it is so I can really get an understanding. I can't correct anything I don't understand, and you probably can't either. But this is what I realized. Self-concept is simply the picture that you have of yourself. So whether you realize it or not, that picture influences the decisions that you make every single day. You say you want to go live, then something inside says, we don't do that. You say you want to lose weight, then something inside says, we don't do that. You say you want to write a book, and there you go again. Something inside of you says, we don't do that. You say you want to speak, and then something inside of you says, who do you think you are? And it's almost like your mind is trying to protect you from the person that you've always believed yourself to be. It almost goes into default. So you have to really work hard to get yourself out of that. And I'll help you with that. But it's not because it's trying to hurt you. It's because that identity is that's what your mind is familiar with. So let's correct that. Let's correct that lie. The lie is not I can't. The lie is women like me don't do things like that. And can I tell you something? Who who are you telling that it's hard? Because I dropped out of high school. I grew up without a father. I was bullied as a little girl. There was plenty of reasons that I could use to say, hey, because I didn't believe that I was enough. I really didn't. Plenty of reasons for me to stay where I was. But when I realized that, no, we're going to, I can change because of the way I think about myself. That's exactly what I did. Those things that I went through didn't determine my future. The picture I had of myself, it just had to change. So Romans 12:2 tells us to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. Okay, God doesn't just change us God changes us from the inside. He doesn't just change what we do. He changes what and who we believe we are. And once I started changing that whole picture, my decisions started changing. What I'm doing every day started changing. Things that I was eating started changing. I wasn't trying to act like somebody else. I was literally becoming the woman that God created me to be. Now, here's your brave step today. I want you to finish this sentence. I am becoming the woman who, and you finish the rest. Let me say it for you again. I am becoming the woman or man who, and you finish the rest. Don't say who you've been. And if you're writing this down, it would be really good if you would write it down. I am becoming the woman who. So you don't write who you've been. You write down who you're becoming. And maybe it's I'm becoming the woman who keeps her word. Maybe I'm becoming the woman who trusts God. Maybe I'm the woman who finishes what she starts. Maybe I'm the woman who takes care of her health. And that's important because before this day is over, and I know we just got about 2 hours, do one thing that matches that woman that you're speaking of right now. One thing. Just one thing, because every decision you make reinforces that old identity, or it strengthens the new one that you're trying to become. So you got to stop asking, what do I feel like doing? When I go to the gym, it's not a do I feel like it. It's not a, oh, let me see how I feel when I wake up in the morning. Healthy women work out, so I need to do what healthy women do. All right. So you start asking, what would the woman I'm becoming do today? Because your life rarely rises above the picture that you where you carry yourself at. you want to have your mind and your actual doing to match. So you got to change the picture, and eventually your decisions are going to change even who you feel like you are, who you think you are, and it'll become easier to start speaking better about yourself and thinking you're capable of doing more things. Not just capable of doing more things, but also deserving to have more things and other things. Eventually, you're going to change your life. So today, stop stopping and become her first. And don't be afraid of becoming somebody you literally have never seen, or literally who you've never, I don't know how that person acts. Well, pretend like you know, but you know that person does not act like that old version of you. And once you do that, the results are going to follow. So before we get off of here today, I want to invite you back for tomorrow. Today, we talked about the picture you have of yourself. And tomorrow, we're going to answer the next question, which is, how do I actually change that picture? And I'm going to share some daily practices that I do. These things have been helping me change the way I see myself. And we're going to talk about the mirror work tomorrow. We're going to talk about affirmations. We're going to talk about gratitude. And we're going to talk about renewing your mind every single day until that new identity becomes so familiar with you that old person, that old you don't even recognize. You rarely talk about that old person. So you don't want to miss tomorrow. Make sure you invite somebody back to hear this message tomorrow. Share this live with another woman who's tired of stopping every time she gets close. Guys, I will see you tomorrow. And remember, stop stopping. All right? Stop stopping. And I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.